Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 120, and we are live again. Another Sunday has come and gone. Well, actually, last week we were Saturday, special episode. In case you missed that, make sure you go back and watch that. That was episode number 119 with special guests Jason Kupsik and Larry Buchanan out of Kansas City, Missouri. And they came on the show. Afterwards, we went live, and, well, we didn't go live, I'm sorry. We did a ghost hunt with just those guys at a private location, and holy crap, we had some crazy shit go on. We'll talk about some of that tonight because Dan missed it. I know Andy didn't get a chance to go. It was just Jason.
I didn't even know.
Sorry.
That's all good.
It was Jason, myself, and Jake, and then Jason Kupsik and Larry, and oh my god.
And Roth.
Oh yeah, Roth was there for just a brief moment, and then he had to leave because he had to get up early in the morning. Thanks to he does the pizza place. So Bob and Luigi's out in Andover. If you haven't had it yet, make sure you go try it out. It's so freaking good. And we've all tried it here multiple times, unfortunately, but we can't help it but go back. Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, so like I said, this is episode number 120. We got a new face in the middle. I don't know where somebody showed up on my doorstep. I don't know where she came from.
Help
but
it.
No, that's Andy Rowe from our teams. So she came in and joined us on the podcast. The group, except for Dan and I, went out last night to do the ghost tours, the Walking Delano tours for Ghost Tours of Kansas with Jason as your host. And last night Andy was there again, and Jake was there.
Jake was there. He filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
it was awesome. So I can't wait to see the video footage of that because that's going to be amazing.
Hope it's going to be good. Hope
I
you
know it
can
will.
hear us. I know you could hear. It's weird when you do the walking tours. I've been so used to the bus tours when we can drive and drive away from crazy. When
Now
there's
you are
outside.
crazy.
Yeah. Now we're out on the streets
Kidding.
walking, and so.
Yeah.
The crazy people come out. Last podcast, I talked about how we, the three of us, encountered a drunk or high chick.
Yes,
I don't
both.
know.
I think both.
Both.
I think it was drunk and high, probably.
Yeah. At one point, she was like laying in a bush,
Oh my god. Yeah.
and that's when all hell broke loose and all that. And she about
What
attacked.
you looking at?
About took out, tried to attack two of our guests and everything like that. It makes me feel bad because I'm like, my God, we're just trying to have a tour.
Right.
I didn't think it was going to end very well, but luckily it
She
ended
walked
better than I
away.
thought.
She walked away. It was
But you gotta
good.
say, you baby, how you doing? I'm kidding. She'd be like, okay.
Yeah, she was nuts. But we gathered ourselves. We moved on, pressed on, and I think it ended
On a high note.
as on a high note and as well as it could have.
Oh, I get it. High note.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
But so last night, Dan didn't get to go on this one. We had Jake that last night.
Right.
Jake, who couldn't stop laughing about the drunk chick, and everything.
It's awesome.
So he had his camera, his big rig,
Yep.
and he filmed the entire thing, and was going really, really well. And then we got in front of the bridal store, and I was telling stories about that, and that's when we started getting some drive-bys of cars slowing down and hollering out slurs against gay marriage and stuff like this, and started preaching to us from afar. And I'm like,
Nice.
you don't even know what the fuck we're doing, It's
Yeah.
like we're doing a tour.
We're devil worshipping Cole
And
out of
there's
Wichita.
couples.
Oh, wait.
We weren't even doing anything. We were just telling stories. And I
Yeah.
was standing, I wasn't preaching and marrying all these people on the fucking street. Leave me alone. But yeah, so you had that, and
Oh
Jake's
my
probably
God.
got all that on camera too.
Oh, awesome.
Plus, there was by
Yeah.
the axe throwing place
Yeah.
further
Oh, yeah.
down.
Yeah.
We were walking by there, and two guys, really long beards, come out. And they're like, what are they rioting?
What are they protesting?
Yeah.
now?
Oh my god, I didn't think
It's
about
like,
that. That's
we
funny.
all just kind of ignored them because it's like, dude, get your one-track mind out of your ass, okay?
Yeah.
Because this is, we're not protesting. It's a freaking tour. Not everything is about protesting. Get it off your mind.
It is 2020 though, so everybody has their
but
mind
get
on
it
that.
off
You're
your
protesting
mind,
or
for
you're
God's sake.
about politics or some bullshit. So yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of looked at him and kept walking. I'm like, nope.
We need to get a Ghost Tours of Kansas flag Carry it.
Carry it around.
I could
I was thinking about making some shirts for Ghost Tours of Kansas and actually
Right.
and promoting that and everything. That way they know that it is for. I mean, I was wearing my shirt,
Yeah,
you know,
that's all.
and the two of them were wearing their shirts, you know. And
Right,
it's
but-
just like. But other than that moment, you know, we just pressed on. We didn't cause any scene. We didn't even interact with these people. We just said, okay, so on your way.
Yeah.
Let stupid be with stupid, you know. So we went on and we had a great time. I think we went till about 9:30.
Cool.
What was cool was went to the salon,
Mhm.
told stories, got them all kind of spooked a little bit, I think.
Nice.
Played the EVPs and stuff like that.
Very cool.
And then I handed out photographs
Oh.
of some of the stuff that we
Yeah.
caught along the way and
Nice.
stuff. Some of the more of the ones that actually have
Yeah.
like the pictures of spirits or or creature, you know,
Yeah.
thing in the rafters,
Yep.
all that stuff. Man, the looks on their faces
That
were
was
like,
amazing to see the look on their faces.
all their
Did you-
faces
you
were
get
like,
a picture?
what the fuck? You know, they're like, one chick,
Yeah.
the look on her face every time she's like looking at it going,
Like her
this
jaw
is
was on
real?
floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
That's
real.
awesome.
This is real, you know.
Yep.
I'm sorry, you know.
That's awesome. See, and that's just it, people. You got to go take Jason's Delano walking
Oh.
tour if you're around Wichita, or come on in for it. 'Cause how many more you got left? The
One
season's
more.
almost over. I was gonna say.
One more.
Okay. Well,
Tickets.
one more through Ghost Tours. We do private tours.
We do.
We can. You just gotta let us know.
You just
in
gotta
advance.
book it with me and set up a date, and we can make something happen.
Definitely.
The night of the 30th, I already have 2 tours back to back.
Oh wow,
So
that's awesome. Yep,
Really?
Halloween
Yeah.
Eve.
one of them is Mr. Nathan and his group.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Sweet.
So yeah, Nathan's
Our
all
buddy
pumped
Nathan
up.
Ingles?
Yeah. So
Cool.
I
yeah,
gotta scare him.
I
Nice.
love Nathan.
Very
Do you
cool.
know Nathan?
Might have seen him.
You
Okay.
probably saw him on
Saw
some
him.
one of our locations. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what all he's been
He's
to.
been on the podcast a couple times.
Okay.
Well, and actually, he's never gone to any of our public things. 'cause
No,
he's
he
not-
went-
to
no.
one maybe.
No, not
he,
public.
He went to the all team and some of the employees of Boot Hill. He was
That's
there.
right.
That
I remember
night.
that one. Yeah.
He was
Okay.
there that night. He was there for the infamous person that came out of the doorway and Ro thought he had captured it because I
Yeah.
mean on first look, and if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
doing that, he thought he had it real, but it turned out it was somebody just stepping out of the doorway.
Right. Yeah.
And Nathan was pumped on that one.
Oh, I
but
know.
He's all excited about the paranormal, and he watches us and supports us all the time. So
Yep. I agree. Cool. Yep. Now he has a baby or he had a baby. Excuse
Had
me.
a
and,
baby.
yeah. He's busy
being
with
dad,
life.
and
Yep.
They're moving.
Oh, I saw
They're
that.
moving to the west side. Found their house of
Nice.
their dreams. He said so.
That's
Awesome.
cool. Very cool. Yeah, like I said, there's one tour left. Well, one date left for the tours. The
Yeah.
Ghost Tours. Or I'm sorry, let's do this right.
Actually, I do have another
Ghost Tours of
private
Kansas.
tour already
Oh, okay.
booked.
But yeah, they can't you jump on that. That's private.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Ghost Tours of Kansas. Seek it out, and then there's 2 dates left. Or I'm sorry, 2 tours left on August. I'm done. You say it. It's your tour.
October
I
30th.
have
October 30th.
30th. Yeah.
God damn.
Tickets weren't really selling for the whole month, so
Yeah.
we just ended up. I said, let's just throw it out. We can book up as much as we can on the 30th. Not doing the 31st because we might be investigating somewhere later
Yeah.
that night.
Yep.
Or, but it's also trick or treating time, so
Well,
for
kind
kids
of
and stuff.
depends.
Maybe. I haven't heard any word about it, so.
I see some shit. I don't want to get into that. But anyways, just yeah. So, anywho, okay, that's tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in. And but I want to say thank you all the viewers watching right now. If you haven't yet, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, and you get notifications turned on. That way, when we go live, you go live with us.
Yep.
We do go live not just for the podcast. We go live for investigations. And you never know what's going to happen, or when we're going to pop up, unless we tell you weeks ahead. But yeah, I don't know. So we're in our favorite month of the year, October, Halloween.
And busier than hell.
spooky. Yeah, always busy.
Trying to figure out what places can we go and finish up investigations, and also I've got the tours and all that stuff. And
Yep.
everybody's got family to deal with too, so.
Exactly. So, what's your guys' favorite time, or I mean, what's your favorite thing to do about this time besides maybe ghost hunt?
Wait for November to come.
Oh, okay.
Cool weather.
No, because I don't have to do tours. I don't have to do all that. No, my favorite time, I dread doing the tours because I hate public speaking.
Right.
But I'm getting better at it. And
You do it well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
11 years. 11 years it took me to get to where I was last night.
You don't
Nice.
give yourself enough credit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was doing my best last night.
You did good the first week. Like I told you last night, you did really good, even though you were
Flustered because of the drunk high chick. Yeah. No, it was, it gets busy. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I get so nervous around this time because I want to make it a good show for everybody each time I take them out.
Right.
I can either tell within the first 10 minutes if it's going to be good or bad
Right.
and stuff. And when it's going to be a bad night, it's like, this is going to suck. Because I like it when folks are actually interactive with me.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I ask a question and they just kind of stare back at me with a blank look,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, why are you here? Why are you here tonight?
Well, you got to remember they're also listening attentively to your stories, trying to absorb and think, well, I lived Wichita my whole life. I've never heard this story before.
Right,
Or
and-
whatever.
and
So it's
uh,
like maybe they're just dumbfounded or surprised or
was-
shocked.
So what was cool last night was there's 4 of them that had been on one of our tours about 3-4 years ago. They did the bus tour.
Right.
I wasn't their tour guide. I believe it was Paula who did the
Oh.
tour that night.
Okay.
Because they said it was a blonde woman. I'm like, okay. Because I think I did cancel one on my own because of the fact I was sick, and she said she could do it. So this time they were like, well, we came back because we want to hear more stories, and this is different. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be a lot different because I'm going to take you along and point out some things that you've never knew was haunted. And everything, and the salon wasn't even part of the tour back then either. So,
Mhm.
excuse me.
Oh
Holy
my
crap.
God.
I ate a whole bunch of beef jerky before the podcast. What was cool about them is that the fact that they were returning, and then the next 6 people that came up, they were brought all their co-workers and all that, and they're all teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, and she even pointed out to me, she says, oh, you better know your history. And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, I was like, oh, crap. That's what makes me nervous. That brings me back to like when I first met you on the bus. You're staring at me and smiling and nodding your head and all this with every story I had because I'm like, oh, crap, you already knew about this. Sorry.
Typing away here.
But so, here I am, a little bit nervous about how the podcast, or not podcast, but the tour was going to go because of the history and everything like that. And, but I had my facts right. I had my history. I had my research and everything. So,
Uh-huh.
but these teachers, what was really cool, they didn't know most of the stuff that I was telling them. They were like dumbfounded and shocked, and none of them knew about Delano. And it's funny, nobody knows about Delano and how it's a separate city from Wichita,
Right.
basically. I mean, not anymore.
I mean, it has a great past. It's all the Old West, the seedy part, the red light district, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, everything in that area from Wyatt Earp and the Earps and all them, and Doc
Mhm.
Holliday
Yep.
and Big Nose Kate, they were all in that area. Jesse James and Frank James were known to have come through and even met for business meetings and stuff. They
Right.
never pulled a job out there, but they were seen multiple times walking the streets. It's funny, like even in the Old West, you can still have like a face that everybody's like, "Oh, I know you." Even when news and stuff is so slow to travel, but everybody
Right.
knows. But even Billy the Kid and all that, nobody knew that they were there and part of the history down
Yeah.
there. So it's a great location. I love to
Definitely.
tell stories and
A lot
stuff.
of stories down there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stories. I've lived in Wichita for almost 20 years now, I think it's been, but a lot of stories I never knew until we started going down there, investigating more, and just talking to
Yeah.
more people, hearing more and more stories. Like, holy crap, this was here.
Right.
I had no idea. Especially like when we do the salon, 535.
Oh yeah.
Perfect Touch. We got to film down there for KSN News, but it's been about 2-3 years at this point now, maybe longer.
Right.
And we heard some of the stories about how there used to be an old, hangar, basically. All those shops were hangars. And back behind there was the big landing strip where they landed for, whatever reason. And heard about the person, possibly losing their head. Well, it's been documented, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting their head chopped off by a propeller because they got too close. And it was for some event. I don't remember what event it was.
I think they were displaying a new plane, and
that
all
what
the
it was?
investors were out there to look at it and
Mhm.
see it take off and see how it would do. And
Yeah, the
there was
old
an accident.
propeller, the
Yeah.
old rotors, and just chop somebody's head off, which was one of my favorite things about investigating down there. We got caught a scream. I mean, who knows if it was a residual or whatever, or just coincidental. Who knows?
Well, and the thing is that the staff of the salon have heard that scream inside
yeah,
a few times. Now, we caught it that night in
Right.
2017, but I never heard it.
I don't think I did either.
I know you didn't even mention
Yeah.
it, so
I would have tagged it for sure.
right.
Yep.
And it's kind of faint on there, but
Yeah.
you hear it. I mean, last night everybody could hear it right away when I played it
Oh yeah.
for him.
Yep.
But Corey and I had gone to the salon just last year to do a quick little YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
And before we could get anything turned on or anything
yeah.
like that, we heard the scream inside there.
Right. That's
and
crazy.
it was weird. And then we started hearing the footsteps up above us and all that. And last night the folks there started hearing some like boots up
Oh,
on
really?
like walking on hardwood floor
Wow.
when there is no hardwood floor there.
It sounded
Right.
like marbles, like we've heard in
Yeah.
the past up
Uh-huh.
there.
So you did hear that?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Sweet.
because
Nice.
the couple to the left of me heard it too, because they looked at me and I looked at them, and they're like looking up there.
I love it.
And the thing is, people, it's like I said, it used to be an old airport hangar.
Yeah.
It's a single plane hangar. It was, each shop was.
Well, yeah, the
and,
the hangar was right there where Hertz is.
Yeah.
And then all right there is the different offices of Stearman,
Right.
Beach, and Cessna.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah.
And so what I was getting to is there's no upstairs. It's just
Yeah.
one big open area, floor to ceiling. So when you're hearing walking, there's no where to walk. It's not on the top of the roof because it's all that rock kind of like tar or whatever it is, ceiling or rooftop. And there's no reason you should be hearing any kind of boots walking or anything unless it's
Right.
inside the building itself. So
Yep.
it's pretty awesome.
It is. I love going down there and getting in there and telling those stories and seeing
Yeah.
people's reactions and stuff. It's pretty fun.
We need to go down there and do another episode like we did before.
Yeah,
we
we could
did
do
that
this.
live episode earlier this year, back in January, and we did one in February, I believe. And just did a live investigation, and we had some crazy stuff going on. It was fun. I mean, some of our memorable stuff
yeah.
on the podcast
Yeah.
happened that day.
It brings out a lot. So,
Hmm.
That one we did in early January this year,
Yeah,
that was
was-
amazing what we got.
just crazy. Yep.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll do that. We'll have to set that up sometime soon and go
And
out
I
there
keep
and do
telling
that.
everybody, just contact Road Trip and get a hold of me, and
Mhm.
I can try to set something up.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, definitely. So, very cool, man. Off air, unrelated to all this, we were talking about different things. Yeah, who wants to start? I mean, you guys had some interesting takes on things, stories or whatever, shows.
okay, well,
Just unrelated to the ghost tours now. We'll switch gears
yep,
here a little bit.
absolutely. So, we had the She Squatchers on
Mhm.
a while back,
Mhm.
about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
It's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2
Yep.
weeks ago.
Mhm.
So, I've been thinking about everything they were saying the entire time,
Sure.
listening to their stories about Sasquatch and, the
Mhm.
whole portals, basically,
Oh, yes. Yes,
and
yes.
stuff like that. And it's like
Hang on one second before you start that.
Yeah.
Just real quick, the She Squatchers we had, they're the three, mainly three. They used to be like 5 or 6, I think, but now they're down to 3 main people. They all girl group that goes and hunts, looks for Bigfoot. Some of them are paranormal investigators. They use their intuition. They're all mediums of some sort, psychic kind of a thing, and they use different tactics basically to hunt for Sasquatch, and
Right.
they've caught some good stuff over the years, from structures to footprints to different things, and no, they're a fun group we met last year,
Yeah.
and we'll have them on the podcast again too. We only had 2 out of the 3, unfortunately,
Right.
because one of them wasn't feeling well. So, but anyways, going back to what you're saying, they mentioned portals on our episode.
So it's fascinating. They were saying how they using her how'd she call it, remote viewing.
Yeah.
And she was able to see.
Well, part
The
of it's
creature.
she looks at Google Maps and does remote
Right.
viewing that way, but she also uses her psychic abilities to say, okay, this area I need to research,
Right.
or on the moment. She mentioned driving by a location and stop, kind of a thing, and they went out there and they caught those big footprints up on that side of that hill. So yeah, wait, go ahead.
But it's just how she was saying how she saw that one Sasquatch in the field, like looking up
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And you know what I didn't get to like actually ask, and I wanted to, was like well, I guess I did, but she didn't really kind of explain it
Mhm.
very well to me.
Right.
But I asked, you know, is their description of how they look exactly how eyewitnesses claim how they look and everything? She didn't really explain that.
She kind of started to, and then she got shifted gears slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't really give me like a full-on description.
She
Which
just
is
had mentioned like hair or tall, thin.
right.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean,
Which
that you could get from anything.
could be a human for all that matters.
Well, you can get that from just watching a YouTube video on something.
Oh, I see. You mean personally? Okay.
I want to
yeah,
know what she saw. That's
Right.
the one thing I
Okay.
wanted to know. What is your description, and does it match what other
Oh,
eyewitnesses claim they see?
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know, it's kind of like validation. You know, I mean,
Sure.
you're claiming you're seeing it. You know, you're seeing a Sasquatch with a wolf or a mountain lion, and you're seeing it. You know, like vividly, you're seeing this. I want to know your description of it.
Right.
You know, that's where my key thing was, but she didn't really hit that. Maybe we can get that next time she's on
Yeah.
and everything, because I really want to know how she describes it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if he's walking with the mountain lion, does he have hand tools? Is he carrying hand tools, or does he have a, shorts on, or what's he doing?
She mentioned how the Sasquatch was up against the tree or on a ledge, and she could only see like through the thermal, I guess it was, and it looked like it was using tools and skinning
Right.
something.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So now it's intelligent enough to be using tools, and it's like, I mean, no one's ever said that before.
Right.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Right.
You know, I believe that they're highly intelligent too, but
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy to think that they're actually using tools and skinning,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that they're being watched too, because, I mean, I think they're aware of their
Right.
surroundings, and if they're out there talking and has a thermal on them, I think that they can actually see that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Where would they get the tools? Kind of.
They make their
well,
own.
yeah, if they're making their own,
Yeah.
out of
Right.
rocks and
That's true.
sticks and stuff like that, they're doing it. And that's cool. Not saying that's impossible.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, you got to think things like bears. They have what? They don't really have hands per se. They have claws, but they've been known to open up people's vehicles and climb right in, or their
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah,
The open
They're
doors.
intelligent.
yeah, just
Yeah.
pry it open, and there you
Yeah.
go.
So that, I mean, they can. There's a video I just watched like yesterday. Matter of fact, of this people. It was on TikTok of all things. They were driving by, it looked like a mountainside house or a condo or something, whatever, and they're like, "Holy crap! There's a bear right there!" And there's kind of just milling around by the vehicles, and all of a sudden the thing just opens up the handles like a human of the car door and climbs in, shuts the door, and starts honking the horn because it was like because it's so big. It's not like pushing the horn; it's just bodies just beep, and they're like, "Oh my god, what do we do?" But they want to alert the owners that there's a bear in your truck. So they're like, they pull over and kind of keep an eye on it, and then the video ends. They go to the door, but it was a real bear. You can tell it's
That's
not somebody in
crazy.
a costume.
Right,
It's
right.
legit. It's just like, that's how intelligent.
All they gotta
or-
do is just watch what people are doing, and they'll go over there and they'll
yeah,
do it.
and see, and that's what I was
Especially if they
thinking for Bigfoot. I mean, as far as the tools goes, what's to say they haven't viewed us doing something like that?
Yeah, and I've read stories of eyewitnesses saying that they've seen 2 or 3 Sasquatches like bum rushing a deer in a field from different angles,
Mm-hmm.
and one clotheslining another to the other one, taking out its legs, and then they just pretty much start ripping the body apart,
Yeah.
And I mean, if they're capable of doing that, then tools aren't really necessary.
Well, they're vegetarians, right?
No.
Come on.
That's like the myth that everybody has about
Daryl is. Talks about it all the time on TV.
Yeah,
Oh my
no.
God.
Unfortunately, they'll eat whatever
They're
they can.
carnivores, yeah.
They'll eat whatever they can. Farmers seem
Well,
eating their own crops to,
yeah, I was gonna say
to
they even-
hunters having their meats taken out of their freezers from their barns and
Eating
stuff.
apples
Yeah.
or whatever, things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I mean,
I'm guessing they're paleo. I mean, just
So,
like the ancestors or our ancestors.
right.
So
Yeah.
another thing is, what do you guys feel about? 'Cause I wish Jake was here too, because he's just kind of kept having that look on his face
Always.
when they started talking about the portals and how they believe. They have no proof. They just believe that they're using portals that go underground and then pop up to wherever
Right.
in a matter of seconds, and stuff like that. So, what is your thoughts on that?
No, I got none. I'm just kidding.
No?
I mean,
don't-
really,
I mean,
do you think it's more of a primate type creature? Which I know Brendan is very steadfast on that.
right.
Brendan, our Bigfoot in Kansas guy.
Yep.
He's talked to me lots about this.
Yeah.
That there is no evidence of it being a portal creature type thing.
But what's the evidence that refutes it? There's not evidence that says they're not.
Just because of their tracking them and
Right.
that they're nomadic and
Sure.
they're traveling. So if they're traveling and being nomadic, going from down rivers and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and hunters who do the research are tracking them and
Right.
able to even come up on them.
Yeah. I mean, it
And
makes sense.
find
They
it.
need a food source, water source. Yes, they're going to follow rivers
Right.
and all that stuff. But,
But now we're talking about them being magical and doing portals and
well, and it just goes back to why my question over and over: why isn't there any carcasses anywhere? Not
Right.
one carcass has been found anywhere versus a deer, a cow, a elk, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, over in Tibet, they do have the scalp of one, possibly.
Do they? I've
And-
seen the video.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen Josh Gates go over there.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
he
And
took a hair, but we have not heard
anything from that.
anything
exactly,
from
yes.
that.
Yeah, and most of the time they come back with, we don't
Unknown.
know, unknown. It's
Unknown
from some kind of a
specimen.
primate source, possibly, but they don't say, is it human, is it monkey, is it
Right.
whatever.
It's definitely not monk or human.
Right.
It could be like a hump from a goat or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
personally, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but coming from somebody that my dad's hunted all of his life,
Mm-hmm.
like bear, deer,
Yeah.
mainly deer, and like they'll gut
Yeah.
them, but then bring everything home to skin and keep the meat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we types will eat it. So I mean, that could be one reason. Like it's logically in my brain.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess,
we
but-
talked about it. Nature takes over.
Yeah.
Something's going to eat that, but they don't eat all the bones.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see any skeletal remains. You find dinosaurs buried in the ground. Why can't you find a Bigfoot bones?
Well,
I'm being devil's advocate,
True.
by the way.
But you go down to like Galveston Island,
Mhm.
and pre 1900, before the big hurricane, and
Right.
they elevated the whole island. They did find skeletal remains of 11 and a half and 12 foot tall.
Yeah.
Native Americans, aka possibly Bigfoot. I mean,
Or they call them giants.
giants.
Just plain out
Yeah.
giants, yeah.
Yes.
well, when the first settlers started coming over to America,
Mhm.
they started seeing giants,
Mhm.
giant wild men in the
Right.
woods. Like
was
right
it
off the
Bigfoot?
bat, they were like covered in hair,
Yeah.
and they were huge.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that they could walk into the woods, and there they were,
Yeah.
like living their life. And then all of a sudden, there's these crazy white people there, you know.
Yep.
You know,
Run for the caves.
yeah, run for the caves, run for the
Right.
hills,
Yeah.
something
Right.
like that, because they're shooting something at us and it hurts, you know.
Yeah.
And
But because that's what we do: shoot before we find out.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Where's the body that we've shot?
Okay, so
Are they magical? They
another-
just
so-
are like Wolverine, where they can self heal real instantly.
never know.
I know I
If
don't.
there's portals, maybe they self-heal. But so
Through the portal.
so I did read another story down in Texas where a guy kept seeing deer come into his field to
Right.
eat all of his pea pods and all this
Oh,
stuff,
uh-huh.
and he was getting really tired of it. So he was sitting on his back porch, and he was gonna take them out. If he sees a deer, he's just gonna shoot from the porch.
Yep.
I mean, he's out way out in the middle of nowhere. Well, he noticed that he saw Sasquatches out there in the field too, amongst the deer. So he just opened fire, and he said he nailed one and it dropped. So he grabbed his sons. They ran out there, and by the time they got out there, all they saw was the drag marks because
Right.
the other creatures took it and went. Where the body went, who knows? Then you go back to
Did
one.
he not follow the drag marks?
I don't know if
I'm
they
just
did.
saying,
I don't
yeah.
know if they did or if they were just too freaked out because
Yeah.
of what they did or what they saw.
Yeah. What took this thing I shot? Right. Yeah.
They looked huge, and the two other creatures apparently are big enough to pick up his buddy and run.
Right.
But there's then you got the story of the hunters. God, when was this? This is like turn of the century. Group of hunters, and they were told not to go to a certain area of this valley, but the cabin that they were going to go to was in that valley. But they were warned, you got the wild men out there. Okay, watch out. So when they were out there, they encountered one, shot it. It fell off the cliff and died, and they could see it down there.
Yeah.
Got the body, and it's covered in hair, and it's just laying there. Well, later that night, as they're trying to sleep, their cabin just gets pelted by huge boulders and rocks, and the creatures are trying to punch through and grab them, and they can hear the growling, the screams, pounding on the side. I mean, they were fighting for their lives, and they're out shooting through the holes,
That'd
and
be sweet.
and then next day it's all quiet. They pack up all their stuff and they go outside, and there's boulders and rocks everywhere. There's damage to the cabin, footprints everywhere. They were pissed. They went to go check to see if the body was there. Gone. So I
Right.
think they do take care of their
Sure.
shells.
Yeah.
Whether they eat them, whether they bury them, whether they do something with it.
Right.
Send them on mothership.
Because I don't think that they do travel alone. They travel
Right.
in packs and herds or
Sure.
whatever. Most of the time, there's always at least more than one set of footprints leading. I mean, there might be one that's straight off, but most of the time, researchers have found multiple sets.
Yeah.
Well, even in the word, I'll throw it out there already. It's kind of early, but Tahlequah. I mean, when you guys had the one situation
Never heard of it.
where you had you guys seen the Bigfoot over here, then all of a sudden one over behind the house makes a ruckus to get you guys' attention away from him.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So, I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
I think they're more intelligent than what people put to them.
We
Sure.
saw the
Yeah.
nest there in Tahlequah. We saw
Yeah.
the nest that
Seen the
looked
nest,
like
seen
some
the
kind of bedding.
footprints.
And there's multiple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're nomadic. I mean,
Yeah.
could there be portals? I mean,
I don't know.
go like she was talking about the carvings and stuff in the rocks, and when she talked about the circle upon circle, I got kind of fascinated with that. Started doing some internet researching on it. I did find a few. The Navajo have a few up there in the Dakotas, and
Right.
I did find some. I've been trying to find out where more of them have been located at. Of course, I haven't found any yet, so I will try now to try to find some because there got to be some in Oklahoma.
Yeah, you
Because
would
I mean,
think.
several tribes ended up there pre assholes chasing them there, and after they were forced to stay there. So, Flint Hills are the same way. I mean,
Yes,
they resided there for hundreds and thousands of years.
Right.
So I like to go, especially up around, Canopolis and even Wilson. Wilson's all limestone.
Yeah.
And Wilson Lake, even though it's man-made, the limestone cliffs were there before the lake was made.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you need to see what's there. And all along
Definitely.
that river, what's the name of that river that runs through Salina and through Wilson?
Oh God.
Starts
You
with
wouldn't
a
have said
C.
anything. I would have told you, but no, I don't know.
But they have caves. It's
Yeah.
multiple cave systems through there.
Right.
So you never know what's through there. I mean,
Yeah. I
We need
mean,
to do a team camping and just go
We
Well,
do.
it's in the
We
wintertime.
do.
Have fun.
Minus,
No bugs.
minus
Have
Leo
fun.
here.
Are you too scared, Leo?
No, I'm just.
He hates the outdoors.
I'm a city person. I'm not a camping
City
kind of
boy?
a. Yeah, I am. I go where there's more people versus less. So
Well, what
Yeah.
about us? Do
What
we
about
not
you?
consider
We,
it as
we
people?
don't matter.
no.
No? Okay.
Well, we can bring a elevated tent for him
Well,
in the bay.
Yeah.
So,
Airbed.
back to
The portals.
what they were talking about. So, portals, but
Yeah.
do you believe UFOs and them are connected? Like she was saying
don't
how
know.
it was talking as if, you
Right.
know,
Beam
hey,
me
get
home.
me out of here.
Yeah.
Let's help move us. I don't know
don't
if I buy that too much.
Well, but then you go back to the hieroglyphics and all the cave dwellers and all that stuff in the drawings. You always see the same kind of type of thing. You see the people that's probably representative of their own kind, the smaller
Right.
people. You see these tall primates standing on all, 2 legs, whatever.
Yeah.
Bipedal, and then you see the light in the sky, or you see the odd-looking ship, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, I know.
I don't. Why not?
I believe in the UFOs. I just
Right.
don't know if they're like communicating like, oh, our Bigfoot buddy needs our help.
right.
You know, let's bolt to action and take
What
it
if-
away. You know,
What if
I
they're
just don't
aliens?
know.
I mean, we
I-
talked about that kind of.
Could be.
And what if they're a different type of alien? That's why we don't see them as often, or their bodies,
Could
or
be.
whatever. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what if that is part of the creatures that they put on the Earth to monitor? You know, Who
laughing
knows?
at Carl's comment. You're not wrong, Carl.
That is true. Yeah.
My idea of roughing it.
Holiday Inn with a hot tube. I mean, tub.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why do you want to? No.
So we were talking about Bigfoot,
Bigfoot.
and somebody said maybe they bury him, maybe
Yeah.
not knowing.
Sure.
Say, like one's buried and they find the bones,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody can, like the forensic examiners, whatever, can't
Right.
determine what kind of bones. What do you think?
Well, again, we haven't found bones.
That's just it.
So
Or have we, and we just pass it on as other animals?
it could be that
Quite possible.
too.
You know,
Yeah,
if the
it's not
if the bones are
far-fetched.
scattered, and then you just kind of walk around and buy
Mm-hmm.
it. You just kind of go, But here's another
The
thing.
skull, though.
Here's another
Yeah.
thing, though. The vast majority of land on just in the United States, not everywhere else. I mean, look at Canada. Not everybody is on every square inch of that land.
No.
And
no.
same goes to here in America. There's so
Right.
much land that nobody's touching. Hunters can only go in certain designated hunting areas.
Right.
So no, you're not going into areas that you haven't been, that there could be lots of animals or Sasquatch that is roaming this area that is not, it's able to escape from the human eyes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I mean,
Well,
there's so much
We got
land in Colorado.
we got
and-
so many national parks in the country.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who
Yellow-
says the government hasn't cordoned off these areas to protect such species?
I told you the story of my buddy Jeff,
Mhm.
right? I told you. that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this?
No.
Okay, so my buddy Jeff took a trip over to Yellowstone with his family, and he loves Bigfoot just as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
While him and his family were sitting there eating a picnic, he saw some rangers over there, and so he walked over to the park rangers and said, I've got to just ask you, have you seen or do you even believe in Bigfoot? He's like, I want an honest answer. And he said that they looked at each other and said, well, do you want to show him?
It's awesome.
And
I'll
so
be
they
like,
pull out a
"Please,
tablet.
Please show me.
They pull out a tablet that is hooked up to all the cameras. There's cameras throughout the entire
Right.
Yellowstone,
Yes.
so they can monitor for hikers and animals and missing people and stuff like that. They
Right.
pulled up a video of this hillside that's going up it's a hill, but kind of going up toward the mountain and everything. There is somebody kind of hobbling along. You can tell they're injured, but hobbling along trying to get up higher to higher ground. And they're dark, and they zoomed in, and sure enough, it's an all covered in hair bipedal creature that is struggling to get up the hill.
Senior citizen.
basically.
Yeah.
Busted hip, broken foot,
Yeah.
something. It was in bad shape.
Wow.
But he could see the handicap and see that it was like using its hands just like a regular human. It had 2 legs, bipedal, and it was going. And he saw it.
That would be awesome. That would be
So-
awesome.
Shit. Don't mind me. Keep talking. Hey guys, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good. I'm just gonna get you. Keep the mic.
Am I really that bad tonight?
You have a little bit of echo to it. It's just.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Am I
And
any
here I
good?
am
That's not-
doing a
no,
lot
you
of
guys sound
talking.
good.
Oh, good, good.
Here the one. Here I am just blabbing away.
No, things just drive me nuts. I see shit on here. It's just. I'm OCD.
Okay,
That's not what I come over to do.
so I'll just do this.
Well,
Does
see,
this work?
And and that's one thing, talking Bigfoot and national parks.
Side more. Cover your face.
You
I
got
know.
Yeah.
you got your missing 411, which are
Okay,
basically
that,
all
yes.
based in national parks.
Okay, so did you watch the second 411?
I have not yet.
Oh,
I've
with the
only-
hunters.
I've only listened to them on
Okay.
Coast to Coast with Art Bell. I have not watched any of the videos yet.
Okay.
I will.
So that goes to my next question about like how she was talking about her remote viewing and she's able to see that. I wonder if she could do that for missing people.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
She has.
She did forensic, in which, speaking
See-
of her, and next week's guest, Sarah Soderlund,
Uh huh.
who's the author, forensic psychologist, and photographer, and a whole other things.
Right.
She did the same thing too. So I can't wait to talk to her about that. Let's talk to her about that too. Bring that up
Okay.
again. But go ahead.
But so yeah, so it on God, it's not on Netflix. It's on Amazon.
Right.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime has a thing called Missing 411,
Dave
and this
Pilates.
one is about hunters.
Right.
And we talked about it on another podcast. But this one was very strange of all these adults. They've known the land, they've gone hunting all their life, but
Yep.
they just went missing.
Right.
Like, blink of an eye, they were gone.
So what do you think that
No
is? Or why do
trace.
you think that is?
I don't know.
Is it
No
they fall in a
trace.
hole?
There's
Did they-
one guy, a lot of them, just weird circumstances. Like the very first episode, I don't want
Right.
to ruin too much because of the fact that I want y'all to watch it sometime.
I have it saved. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the very first episode is, a group of elderly hunters that have done this for a long time. They're out there with their grandkids and their own sons and stuff. The younger group goes further down a few miles to come from the north and come toward them through the woods, while the older guys kind of just go in a few feet and kind of make camp, but away from each other,
Right.
and they sit there and they wait. Well, the furthest one, he goes into the woods, just like they all do. They all did it at the same time, same moment,
Mm-hmm.
and they never heard from him again. Not one piece of evidence, no clothing, no backpack, no nothing. Just gone. At one point, they all heard this very strange sound that sounded like heavy metal clamping or something like that. My thought is like a bear trap or something like that, but no. They just heard this very loud clamp that kind of startled them because they've never heard that before in the woods. But they heard it, and their friend's gone. Still to this day, missing, no body, nothing. And they all went looking for him. There's a search party out for him.
Right.
Horseback, hundreds out there looking for him. Helicopter, everything. Nothing was found. They traced everything. And
Never showed back up after several days on this
No.
one. Okay.
no.
Awesome.
So, but then there's multiple different stories that kind of connect to the same way of just people who just were there 1 second, gone the next.
Mhm.
People will turn around and be like, they were just here. They were just standing here. Where did they go? And they're gone. People showing up dead, but in strange circumstances. Like one woman who is a known hiker and loved the outdoors. They found her in the most remote location
Right.
next to a stream, no clothes on, no attack, no injuries, no rape, no nothing.
Right.
Just curled up in a fetal position, bare naked, in the most remote location.
And kind
out
of like
there.
lost and like bewildered in a way with
Yeah.
lost in thought kind of a thing where
And
she
one
didn't
guy-
know how she got there. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
They don't know
happening.
how she got there, nothing.
Right.
Again, see, I mean,
Is
Dave
it
Pilates,
portals?
Well, Dave Pilati splits it back towards possible Bigfoot.
Well,
but there's
that
also
possible UFO.
sightings or in experimental things where they take them and they do their experiments
Right.
in the woods or in their portals,
Right.
and then release them back into the wild, into a place that, where am I at? And again, you're bewildered and you probably almost like dementia and you
Yeah.
die.
Yep.
Well, then there's that one guy, which is probably one of the most fascinating stories of the whole episode. And I won't tell you too much, but he knows where he's at. They've been out there several times to go hunting. He radios in and says, "Hey, I'm heading back to our main cabin to get more supplies." I forgot what they call the cabin, but their supply cabin. And so he heads off and goes north. He has a map. He has GPS. And he goes. And then for some reason, according to his GPS, he like bypasses the thing. And he just heads off in a totally different direction. And that's where it just goes weird after that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Is that,
And-
that the guy they never found again? Just
ne-
his packs and stuff, whatever.
just all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Little by little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even his water bottle or coffee, or his water,
Yeah.
lid off, put on a rock,
Yeah.
and then move on. It's like he had all of his supplies to survive.
Right. And did it
Little by
or
little, he
probably
was
didn't.
leaving things behind.
Yeah.
Maybe
Was it like to
a
find
trail to
him?
find him.
Yeah.
But he
Trail of
kept going.
breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he kept going. Didn't know where he was going.
Maybe he's following something. Maybe he's following, a
Yeah.
light or a
I
trail.
don't know.
Or
Or
maybe-
I don't
Bigfoot.
know.
You know, we don't know. That's we need to go out there and
Maybe
find
he
out.
was following a light. I
Yeah,
never thought
yeah.
about that.
Ghost
Maybe-
light.
Yeah.
If he had a GPS, maybe there was something on it, and he just started following that route for some
I don't know.
reason.
Then they still don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
They don't know.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to catch up on some of the old. Go to coasttocoast.com. Listen to some
I've tried.
Dave
I've
Pilati
tried.
stories.
Yeah, I've tried.
He's got a website and it's all there. Awesome. Awesome stuff.
So, do you think portals are real or not real?
I still don't know.
I
You
mean,
know, when it
for
co-
portals for Bigfooting or
I don't
Sasquatch.
know. I don't know.
Because I know you still, even on the paranormal side of things, you're still kind of leery on that. You're like, I've never
Because
seen
people
one.
are always like, it's a portal, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't see shit.
And I've told you that one time, the only time I ever really experienced it was
Yeah.
at the Voodoo House here in Wichita.
Yeah.
And it's just, you can just feel it. I don't know, I mean, I can't explain it other than.
Did you jump through it?
Well, no, it was in the corner of the wall.
Yeah,
No.
it's like just take a running start, like Harry Potter, and see if you went through.
9 and
You know?
3/4.
What's that?
I said 9 3/4.
9 3/4. You know?
No, I didn't. I don't know if I even touched it. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't think I could even get close enough to it because it was just making me nauseated. Like, you could just. It's like when you go to. Well, high EMFs kind of a thing. Where
Right.
you just get too close and you just feel like, oh, God, I'm going to get sick. Or whatever, dizzy or uncomfortable. Or
Why does it make you sick, though?
Well, for EMF, it's the waves. I mean,
Yeah.
the magnetic waves are just so intense usually that's why a lot of people start having more paranormal experiences is because the higher the EMF, the more it's dangerous. I mean, it's live electric waves hitting you, going through you, which is not good for the human body.
Do you think it's like a black hole or a wormhole or something?
For a portal, or
Yeah.
it couldn't be a black hole
Well, not black hole, but
because I mean you couldn't come.
right.
Only things go in.
That was wrong.
and you can't
choice
come
of
out.
words.
Yeah,
that was
kind of
choice of
thing.
words.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Like I said, because it was just in this one particular corner, and she even saw me. And I didn't say much to her other than I told Jeremiah, "Come here real quick." 'Cause I wanted him to. I didn't want to tell him why. Just wanted to tell him to come feel this. And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's where it come from." And I'm like, "You don't know what I'm talking about." I could just be saying, "Hey, I hear a noise," or "What is this?" kind of a thing, and she just immediately picked up on what I was going for.
do
And
we
this is
have
this
do
is
we
the
have
place.
proof
Of
of
what?
portals?
I don't know.
I
Because
don't
the
know
Queen
if there's
Mary
no-
has that one supposedly down in the men's locker
Yeah.
or the changing room, whatever.
Where at?
Queen Mary,
Queen Mary.
Long
Oh.
Beach. That one's been somewhat documented, but it's how do you measure something that you can't physically see, touch, feel, in a manner of speaking.
Well, I mean, until you're actually going to try and walk through it yourself.
Well, I don't know if a human. I think your
Our
soul could
capability.
probably pass through it. I don't know
Yeah.
if your physical
Okay.
being could.
So there, right there. How's Bigfoot doing it then?
Because he's not
Well,
a primate. I'm just kidding around.
If we
Right,
can't physically
right.
do it, then how is Bigfoot doing it?
Because once again, what if they're aliens? What if they're not primates? What if they're What are you talking about,
Or
Brandon? His
is
ears
it
are exploding right now.
something-
Interdimensional beings.
I'm gonna go find the bastard. I'm gonna prove that he's like
He's not a
actually
bastard.
physically
Brandon,
real.
I've seen him.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Or is it something like using Bigfoot to make it look like he's Bigfoot? You know.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's got a skin suit on. Yeah, skin suit. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
know that.
That's
But-
just it.
We need to find that
What
out.
if Bigfoot's just a Wendigo and can change?
Oh,
That's why
It
they're
can
associated
adapt.
with the Native Americans.
And the Native Americans. What if they are nothing more than like a skinwalker or a
Shapeshifter,
shapeshifter
skinwalker.
type thing? Able to,
Oh, I like that, Carl. Carl says alien scout.
Alien Scouts. Yeah.
they could be.
That's-
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're so in contact. Maybe he was radioing, hey, I found these three girls out here that are close by. Come get them.
Or,
You know, talking
or
about sea
when
squatters.
the hell are you going to get me out of here? 2020 sucks. you
That's
know?
right.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it on the same periscope or level as Men in Black and Children with Black Eyes, the black-eyed children.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both on. I mean, the same level as a Bigfoot or a Wendigo. I mean, we don't see them on a day-to-day basis.
No.
Or Mothman. You know, the guy comes when there's
Mothman. I've never heard of it.
yeah, he comes when there's going to be a historical. Life-changing
Disasters.
disaster of sorts.
Makes you wonder about the recent, Chicago airport sighting.
I'm
Right.
curious about like 9/11. Did anybody report seeing them back
I
then?
did read where some people said that they had claimed to have seen a weird winged creature type. They don't know if it was just a big bird, like a big eagle or something, or they
Right.
saw like a strange looking. I mean, that's claims. I have no idea.
Yeah, nothing
you know.
documented. Yeah.
Nobody caught it on camera or anything like
Right.
that. But but who's to say that wasn't around? Who's to say it wasn't like in the city? I mean, it was New York. I mean, who's paying attention to it? I mean,
Right.
you got
They're not.
people peeing in the streets and they just walk right by.
Yeah, that's everyday occurrence. They don't
Yeah.
care. It's not unusual for them to see that. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Well, at
They
this
could.
point in our time right now, the Black Knight is seen so often
Right.
compared to what it's used to being seen. So
when's the last sighting of that?
Oh,
don't
it
even
was
know.
6 months or a year ago. I've seen pictures of it.
So, is it possible it's an old burned up satellite,
Yeah,
space
sure
debris,
it is.
junk, whatever, and it's just stuck in our atmosphere, so it's orbiting it?
But you think somebody would try to prove that, or at least the government step up forward and say, it's ours?
And what if the government purposely put it up there and it's just tracking people or something? I'm throwing
Right,
shit out there.
exactly.
And that's why we're like, we don't know what it is.
It could have been one of our rockets that even like when we were heading to the moon and everything like that.
Yeah.
If we win.
which did happen.
If we went.
Um,
I was agreeing with you.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sure you are.
God, I love that. I love Jason Kupsik in their answer. Larry, I wanted him to open that can of worms about his dad. That threw me off. I'm like, what do you know? But he wouldn't say. And I'm like, oh, come on.
You know.
Talking about last week's guest.
Yeah.
If you missed it.
Yeah.
For the viewers at home.
I'm sorry I missed it.
To me,
Go back to episode 119 and watch. It's awesome.
it would
Sorry,
still
Jason.
be so much of a cover up. We
Maybe.
did launch a rocket.
Maybe.
It went up. Everybody was there to watch it. It went up. Just
Well,
like the shuttles.
What if they saw it on screen only?
There
a
was
big
no
screen?
screen. It's
Oh, no, I'm just
outside. We
saying.
saw the ship go up. Just like the shuttles. We saw it. It goes up. The Challenger, the tragedy of the Challenger, it blew
Right.
up in the sky there. It's real. So we do have vehicles that actually
Yeah.
launch and go.
Right.
Apollo 13.
Tesla. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
It's
What
true.
about-
It's
what
out
about
there.
Tesla? Oh,
The Elon Musk launch for
Yeah.
SpaceX when they launched
Yeah.
the Tesla. My question was, and this is going off on totally left field, was there a person inside that suit that they killed off and they just put in there? And he's just out there floating in space forever and
that's
ever.
one of his enemies that told him he could never do
Right.
it. He just,
That's right.
Like said,
wow.
you know what? I'll just launch you up there.
Good
See?
call.
But
I'm just saying.
but
I
you
Now we know
know,
where Al Capone is.
That's Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy
Hoffa.
You know
Yeah.
what I meant. Shit. I was
Sorry.
thinking about Al Capone a while ago when we were talking about downtown Wichita. Sorry.
Capone?
Oh,
he had
nice.
syphilis. He can just stay away.
Yeah.
You know. But you brought up the whole thing, you know, like why didn't we ever go back? Well, we did go back a few times.
I brought what up?
Oh, why
back to
haven't we
where?
gone back to the moon and everything like that?
Oh, that was Jason and them. I didn't say that.
No, you did ask.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, during your comments.
I'm
you
just
did.
kidding around. Maybe I did. I didn't realize I did.
Yeah, you did, and he brought it up too. He goes,
Did he?
"Yeah, why haven't we gone back?" You know,
I'm sure it's
and I'm
expensive.
like, "Well, we did go back a few times, but there wasn't much there, and we brought back our samples that we
Right.
had, and
More
why
rocks.
continue to waste the money to go
But
do that
there
over
is so
and
much
over and
there.
over again?"
There is so much there. Because there's undocumented structures on the dark side that we need to prove or disprove by many people. We need to get up there and find that out.
Oh, the Transformers? You mean?
No.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I saw that movie.
What about all the people on the other planets that we need to find out?
Yeah, well, I
Well,
mean,
the
the,
moon is
ne-
close.
the next thing is Mars. If we
Yes.
can make it to Mars,
Oh, we won't
it's
be
3
alive
months
for
there,
that.
3 months back.
Not in our lifetime.
We'll be dead,
No, I know.
unfortunately.
Well,
Maybe our
supposedly they
kids.
have like astronauts already signed up to do it.
Oh yeah, it's for the millennials. Probably they're going to be the ones that can go and ruin that planet. I mean, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm not
It's
that.
true.
I'm not
It's
that
true.
person. Don't think I
No,
am. I'm just
I-
playing
They got to
devil's
put their weed
advocate,
and
talking
pocket seat
shit.
somewhere. Oh.
but so you know, just reading the things that I have on it, you know,
Yeah.
they went up there, got their samples, got everything that they could do, and
Right.
with the technology at the time as well, you know, there wasn't much more we could do at the time. And then we started doing shuttles and started doing
Yeah.
other things, you know, help get the International Space Center together and all that,
Yeah.
and start doing other things. And it takes a lot of manpower, it takes a lot of money
Right.
and funding and all that stuff to do stuff. It's not Star Trek where we can just build something and shoot off.
Yeah.
Beaming
Well,
up
part of
yeah.
it. Sorry, Andy. Part of it is too. It's like we went there, we've done that. There's nothing really tangible there for us to. Why go back? There's no running water. There's no
Right.
oxygen. There's no.
Then
We can't
would-
live there, so they're not going to
Right.
care anymore.
We would have had to
Moved on to
come up
next.
with a way to get back there
Mhm.
to able to set up like a structure of some kind to be able to go in and maybe even stay there for
Yeah.
a few days, a week, 2 weeks, and do some studies and stuff
Sure.
like that. But we haven't come up with that yet.
Yeah.
And there's no funding, and nobody is funding that.
I did see a video recently, a picture of supposedly. Wow, that was a weird word. Supposedly,
Personally?
that sounded weird. Neil Armstrong's boot that's on display, what he wore that day and all that stuff, his spacesuit, and they're saying the pattern is different than what the famous footprint, the first, it's one step for man thing. That famous speech. They're saying that because remember you've seen the famous footprint where
Yeah.
it's circular with a lot of the
Yeah.
lines across. Well, this one's different, and I'm not saying that's his suit. It couldn't be doctored, as far as a photograph or the picture itself could have been doctored.
What if it's just one of his suits that he had?
True.
It may not be the actual.
Well, I don't
one
know if
he
they were
landed, you
selling
know.
it as such, but I mean, yeah. Well, everything on the internet's true, by the way, so
Yeah.
I
It
believe
is,
it.
yeah.
I'm
So,
just saying, there's that
I
conspiracy
don't
going
know.
on too.
I love
try to
the
find that
history
picture
of
real
it, so
quick.
therefore I'm more up to believing that it was that they did it and they're a little bit truthful about it.
I believe we were there.
Yeah.
I do too. I do too.
And
Yeah.
I've read that China is looking at actually launching to go to the moon themselves, to go up there once and for all, prove that it did happen,
Yeah.
and do their own testing and stuff too. And I say, go for it. I mean, you're not going to do anything worse than what we did.
I do
So,
like space ice cream. Pretty
I
good
do
stuff.
too. I do too.
So, I'm just saying.
I love that
Yummy. Like chew on ice cream. It's so good. Have you tried it? Neapolitan's
Yeah, we
awesome.
used to get it at the coffee
Yeah.
fair.
stuff. The space food, it's all good.
Space food. Yeah,
There's some, the
Wendigos.
strawberry sucks though.
Strawberry
Yeah,
does
the
suck,
strawberries
yeah.
weren't good.
Yeah.
Bigfoot and Wendigo. I mean, they are both huge. I mean, it could possibly be a collaboration there.
Do you think?
Again, I still think the national park thing is all kind of messed up because, especially after I watched the show today, and napping on it and thinking about it, and then thinking about what I thought about in the past. It puts 1 and 1 makes 3 now. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I mean, they could be.
I don't think Bigfoot and Wendigo are brothers.
No.
But I think
Well, the Wendigo has its own mythology and,
Yes.
and history to it and everything. And same as Sasquatch, same as a lot of other, eyewitness creatures that are out there and
Yeah.
stuff,
I'd rather run into a Bigfoot personally than a Wendigo, though.
Why?
Oh, that Wendigo looks spooky.
But
Man,
you don't know how either are going to behave or
oh, well,
react
I mean,
towards you. Possibly.
truthfully, I mean, the Wendigo, from what I understand, if it's actually true, I mean, they remove your skeleton basically from your body, and your body is gelatinous after that. It's just you're dead. You're
Man.
dead. It's gross. I
I want
mean,
to show these pictures real quick, and I'm gonna.
Okay.
I found the answer, so I'm glad I looked. 'Cause
Oh,
it got
good.
it got picked apart right away, which I'm so glad it did. Because like we were talking, I do believe that we did go
Yeah.
to the moon, and I
Me
know a lot of
too.
people that don't, which surprised me in some ways. I mean, not really. To each their own. So be it.
Yeah.
Who the hell
Well,
am I
to
tell
me,
you how
I
to
just
believe?
want to say, how much research have you done and reading have you done?
well, hey, there's only one person right now that I can see that's watching that would have watched it live. Carl,
Captain Carl.
when you watched that, I mean, what did you think of it? Oh, here we go. He's already thinking about what I thought. Yeah,
Okay, so
I
while he's
don't
doing
think
that,
so.
I'm
I
gonna
mean-
show the boot.
California's only had a few Bigfoot sightings. Truthfully, I mean, most of them is in Oregon, which of course is burning as well. And oh, that's weird. And
So-
then
Okay, here we go.
Sorry. So this is what people were referencing it from. This is his actual suit. Okay, yes, that footprint is different, and I'll show you why in 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds. Don't be counting
One.
on me.
2,
I knew it.
3.
Viewers at home,
Four.
so that is his
5.
suit, Neil Armstrong suit on the left. That's the bottom. Yes, it is different, and the reason it's different is because there's a cover that goes over the said shoe.
There it is.
I'll show it here in just a second. Let me just clean it up. So this is the actual boot that goes over it, and the glove that Neil Armstrong wore that day. Well, if you believe he was on the moon.
I believe it. I
I'm
mean,
kidding,
and that
I do
matches
too.
up. That matches up.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
that is the same footprint, same boot. It's just the fact that people
See-
saw that one picture only and assumed that they never went. And when it's
People
just
just
bullshit.
need to shut up and just do a little bit more reading
Right.
and research on stuff.
Yep.
Read, research.
Yep.
God,
They
that's
don't
all it
do
takes
Many people
sometimes.
believe
they don't even teach
everything they
cursive
hear.
in school anymore. You think they're going to teach them how to read?
Well, they're not
That's true,
teaching
too.
anything
Jeez.
anymore. I mean,
Well, see, I've heard that argument some often, but they're teaching my kids. Well, they
Cursive?
did cursive.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, where's that not happening in
a
other
lot of
schools?
schools.
I know it's more often than. I don't write in cursive at all if I can help it. I write
That's-
in print.
All I do
Really?
is write in cursive, yeah.
Or like a serial killer with the hard print.
Yeah.
So watch out, guys. I'll kill you. Okay. Easy there, Carl. You guys just like stop talking. It was a joke, people.
Sorry, I was getting my
We're just
machete
listening to
out.
you.
You're like, shit, the door's this way. That's right. You gotta get past me to get out.
No,
Um,
but Carl
I'm
was
gonna
in there
hide under the
mentioning
table.
right now that California is
Right.
burning
Portal,
up.
Andy Portal.
Okay.
And do you think Bigfoot sightings are going to go up? But I don't think so.
Fire, I don't know.
That's a good question.
It could lead them out. It could. They may
Flush
be.
them out?
They could be flushing out. They could be heading north,
Right.
more
Right.
toward like the Canada area, or further into the United States.
Well, I mean,
Or
it's
probably
not like it's
out,
the
but-
whole state on fire.
Right.
It's sections of
Right.
things.
Right, right,
Because there's
right.
like 13 fires at one time that were happening that we were seeing there smoke into Kansas. That like what 3 weeks ago?
It's still here today. I smoked it all day.
You guys remember the story and the claims of when Mount St. Helens erupted?
Yeah.
That they were recovering bodies that supposedly were Sasquatch up there.
No,
Okay.
really?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
I don't remember that.
There's been reports that, and they covered it up because they didn't want to bring out like a whole shit ton of people and conspiracies and whatever. But supposedly when it blew up, they recovered bodies up there, and
Wow.
and they were gigantic humans.
When it erupted.
Yeah, and the explosion and all that, it killed because Sasquatches were up there around the mountain and all that, and the land and the forest and all that, and they were covering bodies from there.
I can see that. I
Would you
mean,
think they take him to like a forensic place?
They try to keep it quiet.
they
'cause
both took him to 51.
I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We as a whole, we panic, we go nuts, we go ballistic. 2020 is, prime example of how stupid everybody is. And how much we hate each other and all this stuff. But anyway, that's another story. But it's mass hysteria. We're stupid.
Yeah.
We really are. I mean, in a nutshell, I really do believe in us people as a whole, we're stupid.
Well, and again, I believe a lot of it is due to technology now, because people read and internet. I mean, everything is gospel on there.
Oh,
I
God.
already
And
said that once. It's true.
It is. It's true. So that's where you get the cross communications with people, because
Right.
they look at that and, oh, no, you can't be right, because why would we do that? I mean, hell, there's still people think the earth is flat.
Oh,
You know?
God. That's so
And
crazy.
there's, so, I mean, I just don't get it.
Right.
But, yeah. So, I mean, intelligence, it lies in what you use for your news and your reading and
That's why read and research. Go out. Do something.
too much time for some people. I mean, they'd have to break away from the PS4
Yeah.
or quit drinking their Mountain Dew, and it's just it doesn't make sense. I mean, yes, I'm hammering on the millennials hard,
I
but
don't know what real life is.
they don't.
Yeah.
And I don't blame.
Well, some people just don't know how, open up a book and actually
Right.
read and stuff like that.
I
know.
do.
I even posted something today, more, not really political.
it was
but,
nice. I like that. Yes.
about the flag.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But it's just called reading and research
Yeah.
and stuff. But I've read that, many times before. This wasn't just something I saw and was like, oh, I'm going to post it. No, it's something that I already knew was real.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just post it just to see, if anybody actually read it
No.
and what they thought about it. But, it's whatever. People just don't know how to actually do that and
No.
research
No.
and study and read up on stuff, read up on people and stuff like that.
That's why people like us and other teams and Josh Hurds and all them people, we need to sit there and keep pushing the fact that history is important.
It is.
We can't let it go. We can't let all of our architecture and our buildings and our history and our people that built this country disappear. And we're allowing that to happen now.
Because I feel like
We've got to stop that.
that we need to talk to the older generation and give the stories so that we can tell our children, nieces, nephews, whatever,
Yeah.
so that each generation knows what's happened and be correct.
Yeah, because, I mean, you talk to 15-year-old kids, and I mentioned Billy the Kid to any of them. Well, you mean talking about Billy down the street? 1 out of those 5 will know who Billy the Kid actually is. And it's just horrible. Oh, no. Did you not know?
I was like, who's Billy the Kid?
You know what I'm saying, though? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's horrible how we're allowing history to just, well, that's just an old building. We need it gone. We need something more. No. That thing has history, and that tells you a story every time you look at it or walk through it. And that's what we need the kids
Unless
to know.
it was already dilapidated and it's going to just cave in.
That's the
Then
story.
do it. But
Yeah.
yeah. I understand. Yeah, just walking down Delano, and seeing how there's old building, brand new building.
Right.
Old building, brand new building. And it's
Yeah,
like
sad.
some of those buildings have been there where the old what do you call it? Novelty store. The Central Plains
Central Plains
Novelty.
Novelty?
It's closed. It's gone.
Yeah, what's in there now?
I walked right past it, didn't see anything. Don't know if anything is even
There's
in there right
something
now.
in there.
Is there? 905
Yeah.
West Douglas.
Yeah.
But that building, they claim that is 120 years old.
It should be 121.
Yeah.
1899.
Yeah, I mean, I just read that,
Yeah.
just last night. But yeah, so 120 years old
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
still kicking, still having businesses in there and everything like that.
And
It's
actually
awesome.
on the
Show-
strip.
Sorry. I show it as Spectrum Music.
Spectrum Music. Okay.
That's what's in there. Okay, Kathy and I did walk in there.
Record store?
The guy had
Recording studio, I believe.
sells records and
Oh,
all
he
kinds
does
of
sell records? Oh,
I thought so.
maybe that's what it is.
Like music
Oh,
spelled
yes. It
differently?
is record store.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that's the building. Okay, well,
Okay.
Kathy and I did go in. He is totally oblivious to anything and doesn't believe in any
That
of the
is the
spirits.
most haunted building on that strip.
Well, she also, the former person that lived there or owned it,
Yes.
she had her mother's ashes in there too.
Oh.
She had that. She had
Yeah,
a
that
few
could
other
help.
things. So I think
Yeah.
she might have brought a lot of stuff in. But the current owner right now is totally oblivious to anything, and
Hmm.
he even said no. He's like, "Oh, I'm not even into the ghost stuff." He's like, "I don't believe in it. Think it's crap." And we were like,
Rude.
I was like, "All right, see you later." Yeah, peace
Yeah.
out, dude. So yeah, so that's the store. So
Okay, I love that location. Yeah.
well, you can go in, get some records.
Well, I used to go over there buy my gum to turn people's teeth black and buy the old whoopee cushions. That's what I used to buy over there. But
So
Okay.
it's Old Spencer's.
it much better than Spencer's. Yes. Crazy.
So, ready to turn the story now?
We turned story now.
Okay.
No.
We've already talked about it a few minutes.
Helltown.
Helltown. Hey, can you see if you can pull up any pictures of the bunkers?
Yeah.
The old bunker? See if
I
there's
want
any-
to talk about Helltown.
Okay.
You got my interest peaked
Oh
on
man,
that.
it's such a beautiful thing. And again, it goes along to the stories that I've already started with a little bit here, talking about national parks
Yeah.
and what I've believed for a long time, which makes sense now. I mean, listen to David Pilates. I've listened to him for 22 years on Coast to Coast Art
God,
Bell.
you're old. You know.
I know, I'm an old man. So we'll go to Helltown first. Okay.
Was the internet around back then? No, I'm kidding. I'm just
No.
sorry.
It wasn't.
No.
The internet was not, was it? Yeah, it was, barely. So talking about Helltown. Helltown is a town in Ohio. The original name of Helltown is Boston, Ohio. So back in 67, something happened there well before Waco, Texas, well before anything Jonestown and all that. There was a commune there that was sacrificing goats in the woods, sacrificing.
What kind of commune was it? Was it?
It was a Irish Christian commune. I'm saying Irish Catholic commune.
They were
Irish Catholic.
sacrificing animals?
They were sacrificing animals to a wood god or a wood creature, or so they said.
Does that
and they were
fit
talking.
with the Catholic Christian way?
Well, to the Irish, yes.
Really? Okay.
The Irish used to sacrifice animals to wood nymphs and things of that past back in the Middle Ages. So yeah, kind of weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. So back in '67, the FBI.
Sorry.
That looks kind of sort of like it.
I'm pulling stuff up still.
about it.
Look under Boston as well, Ohio.
Can't make me.
So that does look like the church. So the story goes is back in '67, they had a report of a commune there, so the FBI was going in to check it out. Well,
And that's the actual picture right there.
that is a picture. The sign of Helltown. That's the name given to it now.
Right. Okay. It used to be Boston.
Boston, Ohio.
Ohio.
Yes. And the road is actually it's not a dirt road. It's a paved road with a road closed sign. It's a kind of crazy.
It's a cool picture.
Yeah.
It is.
So there was a deaf mute child playing with two friends, and they were out in the woods, and they were out there playing in the woods and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a bunker?
No.
Oh, is it this thing, like a bridge-looking thing?
You're going to see brick. You're going to see dormitory rooms.
Oh,
Um,
trying to find something.
14-inch thick steel walls. Okay, the three kids are playing in the woods. So anyway, they go back to town. They seen something. They seen a goat tied to a tree. They were petting the goat. They were checking the goat out, and then two of the kids started hearing a god awful noise, a squelch and a like a bull blowing snot. You know that noise that I can't even do it, but
I have no idea what you're
there's a
talking about.
squelch and the big heavy
I'm just
breathing
kidding.
of the
Yeah.
snort
Yeah, absolutely.
of a bull. And so these two kids start panicking, and they're telling the other kid to run, and he's like, "Run now!" So they ran, went back to town. Nobody said anything about it. They didn't tell their parents about it because they didn't want to get. They were told not to go in the woods, stay out of the woods. They didn't want to get in trouble for it. Well, the next day, the two kids that could hear disappeared. So the kids disappeared.
Really?
The kids were never found. So the
all,
FBI
all true story, all documented.
all documented.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Now this isn't very much documented, but it is documented because it is. The FBI did go in there and do it. The FBI went into the commune. When they approached the commune, they were heavily armed. So a gun battle ensued, and all but a few of the parishioners perished in the gunfight, and so they closed the commune. So this was in 67, 68. So time had passed. They sent in a 4-person army surveying team. And they also, and I can't remember the name of the group, they sent in 4, it's just right after this would have been in 72, 73. They sent in 4 cameramen, boom men for audio in to survey the area. Not survey it, they just were to go walk to check the area out and all this fun stuff. It's kind of strange. They didn't know why they were going in either, other than they were told to go in. They were given, each of them were given a pack of flares, and all were given rifles. So they go into this property, and they're checking things out. So they're checking out the buildings, they're looking at some of the residences. That's the commune that was attacked. So they go in and check the residences, they go to the church. They go to one residence. They go down to into the building. That's what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to find out what personal effects everybody left. So it was in 74 when they went in. So they were supposed to find the personal effects of all the people that were forced out of town, because the government came in and told everybody in town they have to leave eminent domain because they were going to put a national park in there. Which, by the way, this was in 74. It was never registered as a national park until the year 2000, which is kind of strange. So
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They never did say that in the documentary, but it wasn't registered as a national park until the year 2000. So they're going in this house checking it out, and they go down to the basement and they found 40 or so candles on the floor. And in the middle of the candles is a basket of fruit, apples, green apples, red apples. They watching it. They got the video. They're showing it. One of the camera crew grabbed an apple, started eating out of it. Then all of a sudden they hear footsteps upstairs. Well, it's an abandoned town. There's not supposed to be anybody here. So they drew their rifles and pointed up the stairs and announced Army, you need to sit there, come down here, or to announce who you are, or whatever. And it turns out to be the surveillance team, the surveyors. So there's 4 surveyors. They do the same thing. They draw their rifles. Anyway, they come to agreement that we're both supposed to be here, so they go out and talk for a few minutes. Well, apparently in the woods, about where a little further north where the commune was, there's an open clearing, just like we talk about in Romania, the big clearing, the crazy clearing. There's this big wide open clearing. And surveyors are gone off by themselves at this point. The other guys come across this the opening, and there's stakes, and they're surveyor stakes on the ground. Well, why are there surveyor stakes out there? They're kind of freaked out about that. So they're checking everything out. Well, they check that out, and then they head back towards town. They go check out the church. They go inside this church, and it's a nice steepled church, but they drew you in on it. Whoops, sorry. On the church, there's a 10-foot tall cross on the top, but it's upside down.
Okay.
And then there's another cross on the door that's upside down, which
Which is still a Christian symbol.
is a Christian symbol, but being upside down, you're praying. You're praying and
It's still the symbol of one of the saints.
yes,
Yeah.
but instead of
But
going to the
people
hell, it's
have-
just going to hell.
Well,
they claim.
people have represented it as a
Satanic
yeah,
ritual.
but it actually really isn't.
It's right. So
Which people, they see it and they freak out and they go, "Oh my God, it's the devil."
Is that the church right there? Or is that a different church?
that is a different church.
Oh, okay. It just said Old Stone Church, but I don't see that top. I thought I had it earlier, and I can't find it again.
Yeah, so they
Sorry.
check out the church and they go inside the church, and the same style candle laid out in a big circle, bigger candles on the outside, little candles on the inside, and they're all lit. So they're like, "Whoa, that's weird. Why are they lit?" So, whatever. They check things out. So I don't know why. So now they're checking out. They're supposed to be going. They have a map, and they're supposed to go check out a dump site. Because the townspeople had stated something about a dump site of chemicals that the military had dumped out there, or the government. There's a sulfuric smell in the town. That's why they believe, well, maybe the government shifted everybody out of here because of the chemicals, not that they're going to build a national park. So they went and checked it out. Well, they started hearing screams,
That's
that's it.
So that's their church.
That is the church in Boston.
It looks like something right out of from Supernatural or something like that.
Yeah, that one's missing a little bit of paint. But the one that, no, the one thing I did find strange about this whole documentary, they're walking around this town, checking it. It's an abandoned town. It's been abandoned since 1974.
Right.
Everything's mowed, which was kind of weird to me. The grass is mowed around all the buildings and structures.
So who's going in and doing that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. It's a national park. Maybe they're, doing it, cleaning it up, but no one can go in there because it's restricted. So anyway, these guys cross the restricted fence to go towards the dump, and there's concrete pillars, and apparently, they're on all four corners of the property, in this one area out by the woods. It's a concrete pillar with a W on it. Hey, there's the graveyard. I'm sorry.
I was just putting on there because you said it's mowed,
Yes.
and it is mowed right
Well,
there.
I mean, it is a cemetery, so
Right. somebody
naturally
did something.
somebody's going to come out and
Yes.
Take care of it.
take
Yeah.
care of it.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's a story to the cemetery that comes in towards the end of the show, which I
Oh,
won't
sorry.
release all that information because you guys don't need it all because you're going to watch it. But
Am I?
I hope
Nope.
so.
Okay.
You need to.
Right. Netflix?
No, it was on a Travel Channel.
Travel Channel.
277.
Okay.
It's called Helltown.
So is it? Do you think it's like a new version of Area 5141?
No, not Area 51. No, it's not.
51.
9.5.
I got theories. We'll get to the theories. So,
9 3/4.
9 3/4.
I love it.
So they're walking in, and all of a sudden we start hearing screaming. And it's starting to become dusk, and they hear screaming, and they believe it's the surveyors. So they're running towards the dump, and they hear a couple gunshots, and they hear more screaming. They hear more gunshots, and all of a sudden the screaming stops. So they get there, and they find the first soldier laying there dead, face down. And that's kind of freaky. They walk up to the next soldier. He's dead, lying there, face up. And his face is collapsed. And just a little bit of blood from his nose and his mouth. And then his whole body, they hit it with a rifle, and it's like gelatin. It was strange. He claims the only living. Well, we'll go there, I guess, already, because I'll go all over the place. But yeah, there's only one of the 8 soldiers lived out of this whole thing. He reported that the skeletal configuration of the man was gone. There was no bones left in his body. His body was just gel. Or at least they only checked the arms and his face, but it was just gelatin, which is strange. Like his whole skeleton was pulled out of his body.
Like
Weird.
Predator.
Right.
Kind of sort of like Predator. So, and they're going back and forth because, they're talking about all this, and this guy's telling the story of what happened. He's got dementia, the beginnings of it, so he wanted to get his story out before he lost it all. So he was telling the story about it. And the guy telling the narrative of the whole thing is a cryptologist, and I don't know his name. I wish I could tell you his name, but so he's telling this whole story, and or not a cryptologist, a conspiracist. Yeah, same
That's
thing,
different.
right? It's different,
Close.
but yeah. So he's telling this whole story. So anyway, the reason the documentary came about is because he was doing a conspiracy theory. Back in 2017, 4 teenagers went in and they started videotaping, and they posted it to Facebook, what they were doing, and they go out there. So I know I'm everywhere, guys. I apologize, but it's a good story. You got to watch it. So these kids are going out there, and there's a fence. They go through the town. They go past the town, and there's a fenced-off area that says restricted area, which is over by the dumps. They go over to the dump, and they step down in a hole, one of them does, and they find a long tunnel. And in this tunnel,
It's a portal.
it's a portal.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. They start shooting Roman candles down, and it's all on video on one of the cell phones. They're shooting Roman candles down there, and all of a sudden, you hear the snorting and this.
I've seen it. Watching the trailer right now. Go ahead.
Oh my God, it's crazy. and you can see an actual figure
An outline of something.
on the left-hand side of the tunnel, and then all of a sudden the girl gets attacked. The phone falls to the ground, and you hear everybody else taking off running.
Whoa.
So,
Wow, they just left her behind, huh?
well, yeah, she was done. And so,
So is she is this for real? That she
yes,
documentation of a real murder?
yes, in 17. And
Wow. Okay.
so the FBI, I watched the news clips on it. They caught a bear 3 days later, a huge, big brown bear, and they blamed this bear for her murder. However, in the autopsy report, there was no claw marks, no bite marks, and only a few scrapes, and part of her skeletal system was removed.
Typical government
Cover up.
trying to cover up.
So why and how do you explain that?
How do you explain that? I have no clue. But
You gonna show us some pictures?
I might.
Okay.
so yeah, that's why this guy started this thing, because of government cover up.
Okay.
More people are dying, even though there's a fence there, but people
Yeah,
want to go check it out.
If they did a necropsy of the bear, they could have found remains of
Remains,
her and all that, but
exactly.
they didn't.
Yeah, because she wasn't 8.
Right. That's true.
Exactly. She only had
Yeah,
a couple
that's what
scrapes on her.
Yeah,
Me,
because
they're
bears are known
horny.
to just sucking out the bones.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So the guy, the conspiracist, of course, he decides, well, he's going to go out there and check everything out. Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, it looks like whatever it
Frick.
is, got like a big old thick shoulders and arms.
And a rack.
And and she's dead.
She's dead. That's her phone, and that's her holding it. Yeah.
So just seconds away from dying.
Yes. Yeah, on the documentary you see where it attacks her and she falls, or actually her
Okay,
phone
so-
falls.
Is that the head just above, right up above her head there?
Yes.
Looks like it's got some ears or something.
Those are, well, horns. Wendigos are known for their horns.
Looks like antlers,
Antlers, yes.
but on a primate or not a primate, but like a bipedal standing.
Bipedal. Yeah.
First I saw it and it was real fast. Looked like a demonic.
What's,
When it runs
devil.
at her? Yes.
what's happening in the other picture?
The
the
left is
dark?
when they're shooting down the Roman candles.
Roman candles
Gotcha.
to see the light.
It's a
down
split
the
screen.
tunnel.
And that's when they were hearing the snorting and the growling and all
Yes.
that.
And it was, you can hear it splashing in the water coming at her.
Yeah, 'cause
And
they're in a tunnel. is what
They're in a
in.
tunnel.
Wow.
Which I said, I'll find the picture of the tunnel because I saw it earlier.
That's actually pretty sad if that's her last photo.
If it's
Right.
real.
If it's real.
If it's real.
Allegedly, like Dan said, it's supposed to be real.
Right.
Yeah,
I've seen
they
some,
had
I've seen
news
some other
coverage and
stuff
everything.
here
So
that
I mean,
people are refuting it, but it's
Right.
whatever.
I mean, if they had the news coverage and they have it
Yeah.
all out there.
it'd be kind of hard to, change all that. But they do have documentation that, in 74 this town disappeared. In 2000 it became a national park.
Right.
Now, the conspiracist, he went out there to check things out. Of course, he checked out the church, looked at the church, went out there to this opening, the big wide opening, and they find, if you look there, he was showing some geographical pictures of it where there's rock formations and stuff. Well, they go and he shows this one where this wide opening was, where the surveyors put posts in there earlier. There's a huge rock in there, but in the photographs, the overhead views, there was not a rock. So he goes and checks out this 5 foot tall, 5 foot round rock, and there's a tunnel he jumps down into, and he goes through this and follows this tunnel back in, and he finds doors, and he opens a couple doors, and there's dormitory rooms down there. There's a kitchen, and there's bio suits. So they go back in this safe. He's walking this. There's one tunnel that goes this way, which is this one here. There's another tunnel that turns to the right, which is where they found all the.
What tunnel is this? Is this like a railroad?
I think
looks like a railroad,
A
doesn't it?
bridge underneath it.
Just a bridge? I mean,
Yeah,
where's
But
the
is this not the tunnel right here? Where the incident
that's the
happened?
tunnel where she died. Yes.
Okay, I thought
Okay, so how
'cause
far
that's-
does it go down? I mean, what kind of tunnel is this? What's it for?
I'm guessing a couple hundred feet by looking at the
There's a
video.
better picture of it. Him in shape.
Is it like train tracks or anything there? Or is it
It's a waterway underneath our
Waterway?
school. There's
Okay.
Shallow water, probably a few inches deep.
There's a
interesting?
better picture of it
Oh, okay.
where you can
And
see.
they couldn't use
to the end.
flashlights. They had to use firecrackers to like shoot
Oh yeah,
in
it's
there?
kids screwing
The
around.
kids, they did have a couple flashlights, but yeah,
Okay, right. That
So, yeah.
far away, I could see the ending. Just shine a flashlight, you'd see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And there's also a picture I'm going to show here in just a second of a rendition of that Wendigo that they maybe encountered.
Right.
So that's where you get the horns,
Wow.
whatever the
Yeah.
the antler type things that we saw in the video, or that picture of the video, should I say?
Did you ever see the Wendigo episode in Supernatural?
I've never watched Supernatural.
I know, you loser. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
No, they 2 or 3 episodes in, they have an episode about the Wendigo, and
Mhm.
it's more human-like than it is with the antlers and all that. But it has the claws and all that. And
It's got hooves.
It's able to manipulate voices and
Right.
Yeah.
and change and stuff like that, but moves very quickly and attacks very quickly. And,
Yeah.
they kept pretty close to the actual lore of it. They just didn't have the antlers or anything to it, which that makes it look even a little creepier. So,
Well, too bad.
Uh,
See if you can find the picture of the army guard Ernie. Where he's tied to the tree and the Wendigo's coming up on him. But
is that real or is that all fake?
it's supposed to be the 1974 reel. So we'll go to that. So it's supposedly real. So the guy that's telling the last remaining living army guy,
Right.
he's talking about this whole story. He said, well, he got interrogated when he got off. He got accused of desertion because he left while everybody else were killed, and he was charged with desertion. But they would release him if he would sit there and produce the video. He says, "Man, I left. I left everything there. I had nothing. I had me and flares. I shot up 12 flares. You guys never came in and saved us. You guys let us die." Blah blah blah. Well, anyway, he did save the video. So what he did is he took the 6mm canisters and took them off the camera. And in the cemetery, there was a name. His name was Mitch McCollum or Ernie McCollum or something. Weird name. There was a gravestone that reminded him, well, maybe this guy is my family. Maybe he was family of me at one time. So he remembered that. So when he was leaving, he dug a hole at the base of the headstone and buried the canister there. Well, this conspiracist comes back here back in 2017, 2018. He goes to that because this guy told him this whole story. He dug in there and they found the canister, and that's where the video comes from. We can see,
Wow, no kidding.
and you can see
So
again.
why was he tied to a tree?
So okay, it's strange because you see them walking out. Okay, there's the three of the left. The cameraman, the boom guy, which was the one that survived. They held the audio boom. and the other one had, I don't know what he carried. He carried something. Maybe the canisters of film. I don't know. But they got separated, so he was off by himself, and they heard him screaming. So they walked up through the woods to the opening, and there's a tree with a rock flat on the base, like a sacrificial altar kind of looking deal. And their friend is standing there. He's got a burlap sack over his head. And there's 4 gentlemen behind him in ritual suits, red ritual suits, well, kind of dark maroon looking. And they're tying him to a tree to give him to said creature. That's him. Yeah. So they're giving giving that guy to the creature. Well, they pulled their rifles. They set their camera down, pulled the rifles. Says, let him go. Let him go, or we'll shoot. One guy pulled out a revolver, started shooting at him. So they fired on him. Those 3 or 4 guys scattered. The hostage, which was their friend, heard all the gunfire, so he turned and ran too, with a burlap sack on his head and running. And so he's running. So the boom guy, which is Everett, chases him down. Hears him running through the brush, tries to capture him or help him out and stop him. They said, let's go back the other way. Then all of a sudden he hears nothing. Yeah, that's him from the video. So all the sound goes away. There's no more sound. And then he comes upon the body. And there's his buddy right there, laying on the ground, dead.
Missing bones.
So he's freaking out. So all of a sudden, while he's reaching down to check on his friend, these guys, these masked dudes in the altar type suits, sacrificial suits, grab him, put a burlap sack over his head, tie him to the tree, and he's on that altar, sitting on that altar. Hey, there they are. So,
And who are these people?
those are your Irish.
Those are the sacrificing people.
Yes. So they tie this guy to the tree, and
Was he going to be like a sacrifice to the creature?
yes.
Okay.
So then you see the video. The camera guy runs up upon. He hears his buddy Everett yelling from the tree, and he's behind a stump, a big log, and you can see the camera darting up over the top of it, watching him. He sets it down, and you can see the creature coming up and around the tree. Puts his head over the top of Everett, and is getting ready to grab him. And the camera guy sets a camera. He's like, it's either, him or me. We got to figure something out. Starts shooting his rifle at this guy at the, Wendigo. And all of a sudden, you see the Wendigo jump, and then the gunfire stops. Everett's able to break away from the rope around his hand. And there's the gelatin bodies. Everett breaks away from the rope and grabs his hoodie and then takes off running. And that's when he shoots all the flares up in the air. Grabs the cartridge off the camera.
So the flares are significant to what attracts possibly the Wendigo, or
no? Well, possibly.
Because since the teenagers did it, I didn't know.
Yeah, the military told them to take the flares in to sit there, and if they get in trouble, to send up flares, and we'll send in a team to rescue you.
Gotcha. This is Everett Young. I'll show you just a second here in the video. So that's Everett Young. Well, not young. That's when he was younger.
When he was younger.
The older white-haired guy.
Yeah, that is 1974.
And this makes me want to go home and watch this tonight.
You got to watch it tonight. It's wonderful. But okay, so like the tunnels though, this underground tunnel system. When the conspiracists went under there to find it, they found this one area. There was they found this giant room. It was all concreted in. It's like a concrete cube. And you see like this glass panel, a mirror where something ran around the corner, smashed it like in a hurry and took off. Then they find this safe, and there's its door, the viewing window is about this big around, and it's open. The thing's this thick, or solid steel. It's probably reinforced concrete inside of it, but it's steel. I mean, it was just crazy. But if it's real, I mean, how many other national parks have shit like this? You know, they created a national park to sit there and hide
So is the national
proclaimed
park
Wendigos.
open now?
No, you can't go in it.
Okay. I was a little confused on that part.
Well,
It's a closed national park.
yes, it's got one area that is restricted that you can't go into. Of course, that's where the dump is. That's where the Wendigo Forest is. And now the tunnels are filled with concrete, so yeah. But, hey,
I was going to say road trip with road trip.
that is from the 1974-75 film.
And that's what they saw coming at her,
At him
at him.
when he's on the tree. And that's where the cameraman, the guy that was shooting him while the Everett's on the tree, that's the last thing he's seen before he got killed.
Wow.
Huh.
So yeah.
That's
Whether
That's
it's real or not, I mean, it's fascinating. I mean, I've always thought, after listening to Pilates, that some of these national forest, national parks, are set aside
A
to
better picture of it.
save things of this nature. You know, not or save us from these things.
Yeah.
But apparently, this Wendigo cannot leave. That they proclaim that the four concrete posts shows you where his realm is, or his, like, something supernaturally is holding him there. That's how they proclaim it in the video. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. But
That's interesting.
it is an interesting. I mean, I haven't seen anything that. I mean, I was fixated on it. That interesting in a while, because again, I've had lots of thoughts and stuff for 20 years about national parks and why they hide that stuff from us. There's so
I'm
many
sure
things
there's
there.
tons of things that they hide.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on now.
All that land, all that acreage.
Mount Rushmore has so many tunnels in the back of that thing. You don't know what's in there,
Could be. Or just one.
or just one.
Behind Lincoln's left ear. I've actually seen pictures of it.
Supposed to be a vault, right?
Yeah, well, it's open. I mean, they may have put a door on it now, but there is a tunnel up there behind Lincoln's ear.
Yeah.
They won't allow. Not even most of the employees are allowed. Because I asked when I was out there.
Yeah.
I did ask. They're like, well, we know of it, but we're not allowed to go up there to
Yeah.
it, and they definitely will not allow civilians out there.
Exactly.
Because you're not even allowed to pass
Walk
a,
out that
past a
little area.
certain
Yeah.
area. But yeah, if but knowing that there is a tunnel up there, I mean, the guy who built it, purposely did that,
Yeah.
and he was also the guy was also a KKK member too.
really.
Yeah, he was.
That tunnel, the giant room.
For Lincoln's.
Yep.
It's supposed to be like the Hall of Records, is what they dubbed it. I've never seen that photo.
It's supposed to be like a giant room.
Carl
Yeah.
says Hall of Records.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Duh.
Yeah,
Which
that's
it
what
could
they
be.
call it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it right there. So yeah, so that was the photo. I've never seen one that far deep in before, but yeah, that's behind Lincoln's ear.
All 38 years
Supposedly,
I've been
supposedly the idea was to hide any national treasure type
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just like in the movies or something like that. They were wanting to keep historical documents for America hidden away in there and stuff. But the guy who actually constructed all that, he was actually Southern sympathizer, part of the KKK. He actually did I forgot where's that the big mural. It's on the side of a mountain. It's General Lee and a whole bunch of I can't remember where that's located, but he did that too.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean the guy, brilliant architect. I mean,
Yeah.
being able to do that. Then some other people started doing I think it's Geronimo
Yeah.
out there, pointing, which is cool. I've seen all of it. It's awesome.
It is.
But yeah, so there's the secret tunnel. I mean, there's so many secrets that could be done anywhere.
Yeah,
Who knows what is out there in Yellowstone?
right.
Not that it would be a good place to hide anything there, since it's an active volcano, could blow up any day. But
But you can hide species of monsters, per se.
or really not us keeping them. Maybe they're just there because that's their home,
That's our protected
and
home.
maybe that is
exactly.
why we designated that a national
Park.
park
To protect them.
to protect them
Right.
or to protect us, and made a treaty with them. Who knows? Just throwing that out there. Hey, you keep this land, we'll keep our land.
Yeah.
Carl said that back in the days you could go up there and you said he did with his parents, but at age 8 he wasn't impressed with it because he didn't really care.
Right.
And now he
I
probably
bet.
regrets it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I mean, nothing's up there. It's just a hole.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know. But I did, when I was watching Brad Metzler's Decoded, they were talking about it and everything, and they saw, like, diagrams, and they did, like, a 3D virtual thing of what it was supposed to look like. And they were going to, he was going to build, like bald eagle statues on either side of the entrance with torches and candles and stuff like
That'd be
that,
sweet.
and it was supposed to be further in and keep all kinds of documents inside there,
Yeah.
supposedly. So
Well, again, I think those places do exist.
I'm sure.
North Carolina.
Who knows? There's so
DC.
many mysteries. I mean, we're hunting ghosts and
Right,
talking
right.
about Bigfoot, but there's so many other mysteries out there.
Oh,
that
yeah.
we're,
Some people know the answers. They just, they can't tell you.
Maybe
Maybe everybody's lost in translation now.
Maybe
they
I
don't
know something you guys don't know, or maybe you know something that we don't know.
Possibly.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Makes me think of that Expedition Unknown show.
Yeah.
They've
Josh Gates, that's our
uncovered
hero.
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Oh, Josh Gates is phenomenal, and he goes so he's my hero basically. I
yeah,
really
me too.
I want to be him. I want to meet him. I want to go work with him.
He's got
So,
the
Who
Sure.
came up with Josh Gates?
he's working on that.
Okay.
He's got the career of all
Yeah.
careers.
Yep.
He does.
Trying to.
Yeah, if we could put it out there more and more, that hey, we would like to be with you on a case somewhere. Just don't make me scuba dive, please.
We should
don't.
contact him on the phone. Right. He's doing his little thing from the house right now. We'll get him one time on the
Just
show.
a busy
He-
man out
Yes.
there,
Right.
He's in the tunnel.
He's doing dodgeball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It was funny.
No, Josh Gates goes to a lot of these places and digs up a lot of information. Even if his show, he doesn't find the answer, he digs up so much information and history and brings it to the TV, and it's awesome to watch.
Well, he's found bunkers, German Nazi bunkers,
Oh, yeah.
that haven't
Yeah.
been seen in 70 years.
So over in Argentina, when he went there to see whether or not that house was the house that Hitler lived in for the rest of his days and did not commit suicide,
Yeah.
and they didn't really find anything in the house, but it was a house
On
that
the
was
way out.
livable, and it was suitable for somebody with that kind of hierarchy.
Well, and they found that.
And then they went out there
German
with the metal
coin.
detector,
Yep, sorry, I
and
didn't
they
go
found
there.
found the German coin, the Nazi coin
They
that was
found-
out there.
From that
Proof.
around that time, yeah.
Proof that Nazis were actually on that land.
Or maybe it was planted.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
by
saying.
who? By who? By
Unless
him?
somebody was trying to add to the
By
conspiracy.
Josh Gates?
No.
Oh, okay, because I don't
Or
believe
it could have been the producers putting out there so they would find it to keep the story moving. I'm not saying it is. It looked like it was an old coin that was buried. I mean,
Well,
you know how I
would
feel
think
about him.
less of that for that show versus Ghost Adventures, where I would think that would
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's just me
Demon.
personally.
Demon.
He did find that. They did find that underground bunker in Norway.
Yeah.
That house. They found.
Hadn't
you
been
know.
seen for years, and it was
Yes.
all the overbrush and everything, and yeah, it just
Yeah.
there it was. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's the man,
He
definitely.
is the man. And like Carl said, though, do not let Josh go looking for you if you ever become missing, because he may not find you, but that's fine. It's true, but he finds so much side evidence that
Sure.
keeps your minds going.
But he does keep track of his team, though. If something
Yeah.
happens with his team, he's
Yeah.
very much right there by them.
Oh yeah.
So, You know, like when they went to King Tut's.
Yeah, that was
To-
phenomenal.
You know, when his teammates went down sick, you know, he worried about him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his buddy was out there and got snatched in Romania from the field and stuff. You know,
Evan?
and Josh
Evan, the
ran his ass
cameraman?
out there real quick.
Yeah,
You know, so-
definitely.
He's a good man.
Well, that's
Good
what
show.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
love
appreciate
him.
about all of us on our team. That no matter what, we're family. We're there for each other. And
Right.
Hell no! I
That's
just got to
cool.
run faster than y'all.
hmm
Okay,
Which you
well,
can't do because you
I
have a
won't
bad
tell you
knee.
secrets,
So
I'm
I'll just
sorry.
kick your knee and you'll
Well,
fall
yeah, I
down.
know.
I know your weak
I'm
spots.
sorry.
I'll crawl fast, you know.
I'm fast for the first 150, 200 feet because I just put all my upper torso weight forward and I just try not to fall.
You know what I
But-
like about us though is the fact none of us have ever ran from something. We run toward it.
Oh, shoot.
Always.
We
Always.
go head on into something. It doesn't matter what it is.
Cobwebs or not.
I remember being out with Brendan
Uh huh.
and my dad, and we were out camping and we were doing some little squatching out there.
hmm
And I remember, and it was just us, and we were just eating dinner and stuff, but we kept hearing like something like heavy walking around in the woods around us. And it was heavy, and it was just like, damn it, what is this? It kind of startled me because we're the only ones out there.
Right.
And here's something that sounds bipedal, and it's like walking through and breaking the brush, and every time we talk, it stops.
Yeah.
So Brendan and I are like grabbing our stuff, and I grab my machete and everything, and I'm like, "You ready?" Next time we hear the sound and everything, And so we're like, "We're ready. I'm ready. Let's do this and everything." And here's my dad still eating. All right, see ya. He's just still eating his dinner. It doesn't move. He doesn't move. He's still eating. But we charge.
Yeah.
We go right into the woods and everything like that. I mean, we found a bone hanging from a tree on a rope. That was weird.
That is weird.
That was just like, why?
I've never heard that story before. I
Yeah,
know
so-
the incident. As
So
far
yeah,
as you guys
so
being
we
out
were like
there.
ran in there and we're like
Mhm.
charging after whatever is heavy and breaking through the brush.
Right.
Yeah, we ran in and I'm like, what the, and there's a string
Wow.
and a bone hanging from it and everything. I'm like, why is this here?
Did you guys take the bone?
No, I didn't take it. I didn't touch it.
Oh.
I didn't take it. If it's still out there, I'll take you right to it.
Do
Yeah.
you think that was a sign? Like, don't come past this or something?
Only if it came from the bunny that we were hearing. Because it
Another
turned out
bunny?
to be a bunny.
That happened to
It was a
Tahlequah too.
fucking bunny.
Remember Tahlequah, the
Yeah,
incident?
and it was
They
the
are very
loudest
loud.
bunny we've ever heard in our
They're
lives.
loud.
They are.
They're loud.
So you do hear things out in the woods. You hear things in a house.
Could have
you
been
hear
jackalope.
things that could be paranormal, could be monster, could be just everyday things.
Right.
But
Well, yeah.
it was funny though.
A lot
But
of things
it's
you
a-
can debunk, though.
But it's
yeah.
the fact that we went charging, and I was like, right in there with my machete, like, I was having fun. But I was ready to find Bigfoot. I was ready to find something or whatever it was. It could have been a big dog or something like that. It could have attacked
Been
me.
a big cat.
Yeah, it could have been Big Cat.
I could have been. I wasn't thinking that, but
Go Power Ranger.
But no, if you guys are ready to go, I'll take you out there.
Next week. It's going to
We
be
gotta
cold.
go. Well, we might have a case, so we gotta.
2 weeks. Well, I know, but I'm saying the cold
We always
is
have
coming.
cases.
I know.
So,
we
Which
gotta
is fine.
we gotta take care of these cases. We gotta get all of our cases out of the
yes.
way so we can stop taking cases for a while and do stuff that we want to do for a bit.
Yes.
But we've got a ton of cases on our plate right now.
We've got to finish them up so we can get some stuff started.
Yeah,
Yep.
we do.
Or finished, actually.
Finished.
Both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
very true. Well, it's almost time.
It is. It is.
Man,
It's going
Oh.
fast.
it has. It always does. Every time we're doing this.
Yep.
Maybe,
because we
maybe
know
after
how
a
to
while we'll
talk.
have to, next time we'll pull up the audio so you guys can hear that damn noise.
Oh, the Wendigo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
very intrigued.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That,
I'm ready to go home and watch that. Yeah.
yeah.
Wonder if it's on Hulu on the Travel Channel.
It
It
should
might
be.
be.
Should
Might be if it, there's a travel, if you have
The app.
the app too.
hmm
Okay.
It should be out there too. Yep.
All right. So next weekend, next podcast.
Yes. Next
we
weekend, the October 18th episode, we have special guest Sarah. I'm going to butcher her last name, Soderlund. That's how I say it, because that's how it's spelled. Soderlund, who we met last year at the Kansas City Paracon. I didn't
You
realize
guys
she
did,
was
I
so
didn't.
versed
Yeah,
in what
she's
she'd
cool.
done. What'd you say?
I said you guys did. I never met her.
We talked to her right before she spoke. You
Yeah.
were with us then.
Yeah,
Was
right
what we're
before we went
talking-
on stage, she was right before us.
Yeah.
Remember the crazy guy in the crowd goes, sorry, the crazy guy in the crowd goes, can I ask a question? She's like, yeah, what's up? She goes, can I have a hug? And she's like, sure.
I guess
and that's when
missed
I walked
that.
in, remember?
I guess I missed that.
You were right
went-
behind me because I
yeah.
go, are you giving out free hugs? So I went up there and gave her a hug, just because that's me being me. So,
I
no,
guess
she's very bright. I mean, we got to have our A game because she's going to come and bring some shit to us that's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to knock us on our ass because,
I hope so.
yep.
Love
So,
it.
we're going to talk about her book called, I have it right here in my hand, Haunted by the Abyss. It's her stories about the paranormal world. She's also, like I said, a gifted photographer. Oh my god, her pictures are freaking incredible. I wish I had one to show you right now. Go to her website, paranormalsarah.com, and she'll just look at her pictures and whatnot. But she is. Her degree's in forensic psychology, where she used to help actual crimes and stuff like that, with the police, try to help find missing people. She's what else she do? Goddamn, she does so much stuff. I can't think of everything. Author. She's been in on a couple of shows, and we'll hit her up and kind of get her story because her first thing she ever did was she had a friend reach out to her and said, "Hey, we're going to a ghost hunt at the Stanley Hotel, and can you come, join us?" And they're like, "Oh, sure, I'll do it." And she didn't realize that they were tricking her into basically being the medium psychic of the whole event that weekend.
Wow.
So she got roped into it, and I want to know what they caught, what she experienced, what she saw, and I'm sure she'll talk about it. So she has some good stories to tell us. Plus, like I said, she's just really well versed on everything, and she has an interesting take on life, just in general. She's always posting videos. She'll just drive down the road and pull off, and kind of like you're doing right now, Jason. She'll see a church or something, and she'll just pull off, start videotaping pictures, whatever you want to call it, in front of it, and they're incredible. So
Hoping to do more of that and stuff, more when I'm on the road by myself and everything. So.
Yep. And also, too, there's going to be a special announcement about
Yes.
that episode 1. I'm sorry. It's going to be 121, I guess, on October 18th, next weekend, next Sunday, from 7 to 9. Like I said, Sarah Soderlund from Paranormal Sarah.
Liam's cooking something up for this.
I got something special to announce. It'll be this week, so make sure you tune in because you don't want to miss this. It's an opportunity you don't get most of the time. Not from us yet.
Right.
We'll do more of these things, so definitely pay attention. And it involves Sarah also too, so stay tuned. But that's about it. It's 9 o'clock on the dot.
Yep.
Want to thank Andy for joining us this evening. We didn't get a chance to talk about some
Appreciate
other stuff that Andy's been involved with us, and just I want to hear some other stories. So she'll be definitely back on the podcast with us, hopefully, if she wants to.
Yeah, we
And,
need to get her in here to talk about. She's just
Jason
in New
O'Well.
Orleans here a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she went down to New Orleans, and
Yeah.
a couple other things, and
Well, she's been the Glore a few times.
recently, just
Yeah.
in the last month and a half,
A
she's
lot
to
of
Glory.
crazy shit happened.
Yeah, we'll definitely have her back on the show, and we'll talk about that. So, all right, guys. Well, if you get the chance, definitely check out Helltown, the documentary. I'm about to say Josh. Wow, Josh Gates on my brain.
I can be Josh today.
If only. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Stay tuned for Leo's announcement because it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it'll
for,
be fun.
for the next episode.
Yep. So
Oh,
stay
geez.
tuned to our Facebook pages. You'll see it and you'll like it, I hope, and it's gonna be a fun time. So,
All right.
all right, y'all. Other than that, this has
y'all.
been Cryptic Heartland episode number 120.
Like and share.
Yep.
Like and
Make sure you
share.
like, subscribe, and stay tuned for that special announcement this week. So,
All right.
all right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Good night.
See ya.
Bye bye.